watching See Today with me, Rory Ashari, and we are still in the middle of the SOE State-Owned Enterprise International Conference here in Bali, and we have the privilege to sit down and discuss with Mr. Darmawan Prasodjo, the CEO of PLN, the nation's electricity company. Pak Darmawan, thank you very much for your time and welcome to our set.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Rory, and the audience, ladies and gentlemen.
Likewise, Pak. So I heard about the 8 points that you have conveyed about the energy transition led by PLN, but I'd like to ask first about the contribution or the promise that you have delivered at this event. What kind of message, what kind of communication you have delivered to the audience at this SOE, the national conference?
Yes, thank you so much. The earth is warming. The future of the earth might be compromised, and it's coming from the emission of greenhouse gases. And we need to ensure in anyhow that the future generation should have a better future than ours. And how are we going to do it?
Right.
By reducing CO2 emission, and that's the only way to move forward.
That's a very strong point, but now my question would be then how PLN would deliver that promise?
Yes, so, and I'm here to announce that PLN is fully committed exactly to do so. Yes, and how are we going to do it? So the question is, how are we going to be able to translate this big mission to become effective operation on the ground? So we're talking about short term, mid-term, and long term.
Right.
The challenge is today, the emission is 240 million metric tons of CO2 per year for the electricity sector. Demand growth is roughly 5%. If we move forward, if we didn't do anything by 2060, then the emission is going to increase to become 920 million metric tons by 2060, roughly 1 billion metric tons by 2060.
Right.
We're not going to let that happen.
I'd like to break down your agenda because the country has set its agenda by 2060 that we're going to achieve net zero emission. But in the short term, what will PLN do to achieve such goal?
So last year, we designed the new national electricity planning. During the process of the design, the devising, finalizing the national electricity planning (RUPTL), Rencana Usaha Penyediaan Tenaga Listrik, we remove 2 gigawatt of coal in the planning stage from the list. Is it enough? No, it's not enough. 1.1 gigawatt additional capacity of coal being removed and replaced directly with renewable energy running as a base load. Is it enough? No, it's not enough. 880 megawatt of coal previously planned replaced by natural gas-based fire power plants. Cleaner. Is it enough? No, it's not enough. We add 20.9 gigawatt additional renewable energy of generation power plant capacity from 2021 until 2030. Is the greenest, the most aggressive national electricity planning in the history, Indonesia and PLN.
Right.
Is it enough? No, it's not enough.
It will never be enough.
It's not enough. You know, like 13 gigawatt of coal is in the pipeline, is going to enter our ecosystem. We are able to remove 1.4 gigawatt of coal. It's already power purchase agreement we negotiated. We are able to cancel the power purchase agreement even without the legal battle.
Wow.
Without the legal battle, because in 2001 we tried to initiate another legal battle at that time. Power purchase agreement, we tried to cancel it.
Okay.
Even the power plant was not there.
Right.
We lost the legal battle, and we have to pay $380 million US. In addition, is $25 million US legal fee. From the other side,
but this time, no legal battle.
There is no legal battle. We're trying to do it.
Right. But Darmawan, can you give us a number about the energi bauran, the mixed energy that PLN is seeking? So what is the proportion of renewable and non-renewable energy, let's say by 2030?
By 2025, we're going to deliver 23% renewable energy mix by 2025. And then if we didn't do anything, the coal energy mix is going to be double. But when we do something with this, we have to do like the early retirement of coal-fired power plants, because otherwise there is no more room for renewable energy to enter our ecosystem. That's why like we put like 6.7 gigawatt of coal under the early retirement coal-fired power plants. 3.2 gigawatt is there is natural retirement, we're not going to extend, we're going to retire right away. And then 3.7 gigawatt is under the energy transition mechanisms. This is still a productive asset. Yes, it is still productive asset. Somebody invested on those, assets.
But the world,
and there is power purchase agreement between the PLN and the other counterpart.
Right.
But we built a common understanding, common awareness that the world is changing. We have to change as well.
And
so that's why
warming as well, yeah?
We are giving our best so that this early retirement of coal-fired power plants is becoming a strategy in the short and mid-term in such a way that additional renewable energy going to be able to enter our ecosystem.
This is quite optimistic when it comes to, like you said, the use of 23% of renewable energy by 2025. But then my question begs, in 2060 to achieve net zero emission, how much will it cost? How much investment should this country be able to bear?
Well, this thing is this. We're talking about size. We're talking about growth, right? Now, the size is roughly 300 terawatt hour, the size of electricity in Indonesia. Growth is roughly 5%. So if we put compounded growth by 2060, it's roughly 1,800 terawatt hour. Huge amount of additional demand. So how much capacity do we have to build? 1,800, decreased by 500 terawatt hour, because some kind of pipeline is already in the pipeline. Is roughly 1,300 terawatt hour additional of demand that has to be based upon additional generation capacity, incremental additional capacity, meaning there is roughly 220 gigawatt. But when we're talking about fossil fuel like gas-fired power plants, capex medium, the OPEX, the fuel cost is quite expensive. Coal-fired exactly the same. Capex is medium, fuel cost is expensive. But when we're talking about renewable energy, it's front-loaded investment. Everything is at the front. What is the operational cost? Operational cost almost zero, almost nothing. It's coming from the heat, coming from geothermal. It's coming from the sun, coming from the wind.
The infrastructure is expensive, if I'm not mistaken.
So, meaning there is a front-loaded investment. Every investment is at the front, and that means roughly ballpark number 500 until 600 billion US dollars additional investment.
Right.
And
so the expensive part is only at the beginning to build such facility, but in the ongoing process, the operation cost is very low for renewable energy.
But look at this way, when we're talking about 600 billion US dollars of investment, we're talking about GDP, right? GDP is the aggregate of product and services produced within the boundary of the country. That include investment, consumption, government spending, plus export minus import. When we import every single component of this, they're going to slow down economy, putting the growth on the other part of the globe. So we need to see this as a way to opportunity, the resurgence, the revival of this nation.
And we have plenty of renewable energy sources.
We have plenty of renewable energy resources. We have human resource, talents, human capital. We need to build national capacity. We need to build local content. So we need to create more jobs to eradicate poverty, to accelerate growth. So this is a just transition, right?
Okay, I'd like to ask you about the sexy part. This is the sexiest part that Indonesia is currently discussing about. EV, electric vehicles, transportation sector. What kind of support will PLN give, and how can we reduce emission from the transportation sector?
Well, when we're talking about transportation based on oil, the consumption of oil today is roughly 1.5 million barrels a day. 1.5 million barrels a day. The production of oil is only 660,000 barrels a day. Fast forward 2030. The growth of oil demand annually is roughly 6%. So 2030, the demand of oil is roughly 2.3 million barrels a day, while the production of oil today is dwindling, is diminishing. 2030 is only roughly, as Kakamigas already predicted, only 450,000 barrels a day. So the import of oil today is roughly 400 trillions. It's going to increase to roughly 800, even 900, or even 1,000 trillions. They're going to be, we depend on the energy based on import. It's expensive energy. It's going to affect our devisa, current account deficit, and also slowing down the growth. So we need to shift from import-based energy to become domestic-based energy. How about the cost? 1 liter of gasoline, benzene is roughly 15,000. It's equivalent of 1.3 kilowatt hour of electricity. Equivalent, the same distance travel. 1.3 kilowatt hour is only 2,200 rupiah per liter of gasoline equivalent. And then also, we're talking about the emission. When you combust 1 liter of gasoline, the emission is roughly 2.4 kilograms of CO2. That's equivalent to how much emission if it's coming from electricity. Let's say the worst case, if the electricity is coming from coal, 1 kilogram, 1 kilowatt hour is roughly 1 kilogram of CO2 emission. 1.3 is 1.3 kilogram of CO2 emission. Electricity coming from PLN is not only coming from coal. We're talking about gas, we're talking about geothermal, we're talking about hydro, we're talking about solar, we're talking about wind, and we're going to add more of this energy mix coming from renewable energy. Meaning, if we shift from oil-based transport to electric-based transport, we reduce CO2 emission by half if the electricity is coming from coal.
That's quite.
If we're talking about carbon neutral by 2060, that's the only way to move forward to reduce transport sector to zero carbon emission.
But we have to admit that the electric vehicles is now still powered by non-renewable energy sources, right? How do you respond to this? And in a concrete manner, how would PLN provide us with renewable energy to electrify, to power our electric vehicles? Yes. Would you provide like charging stations that you collaborate with many private sectors, for example, or what's inside?
Yes. Even though today the energy mix is still dominated by fossil fuel, we're already having a transition. But as I mentioned before, even though the electricity is coming from coal, there's already 50% of reduction of the emission. Why? Because of hukum kekekalan energy. Energy cannot be created, nor can be destroyed, but can only be transformed into another form of energy. This is a mathematician and ahli engineering,
That's
like
your
me.
forte for sure.
Yeah. So like this, from gasoline, to become kinetic energy, the efficiency is only 15%. Most of the energy is being transformed into heat. You touch the exhaust of a car, it's hot. But from electric energy to become kinetic energy is so efficient because it's used the induction method. Kipas angin, try kipas angin, try to find where is the exhaust. There's no knalpot. Tidak ada knalpot. Why? Because it's so efficient. That's why the transformation from electric energy to become kinetic energy in electric vehicle is so efficient, even though it's coming from coal, the emission is already reduced by 50%.
Okay.
And we trying to facilitate the transformation between oil-based transport to become electric-based transport. We already having some kind of collaborations with the manufacturer, Wuling, the FSK, Mercedes-Benz, Mitsubishi, Toyota, Nissan, you name it, we already having a collaboration with them. Electric vehicle, each time they charge is roughly 300 kilometers. I go to my office, 20 kilometers, back and forth, 40 kilometers, meaning that I never charge in the public charging station, stasiun pengisian kendaraan listrik, and that's 90% of the charging of EV is actually based on the home charging. So that's why when there is customers, buying electric vehicle, the system of the customer acquisition is connected to our digital system, electric vehicle digital
So
system.
you can charge at home.
So our team is coming to the house because we understand by name, by address. We come to the house, we facilitate the change of daya, the capacity install, and then also the home charging to make sure it's going to be fun. Ease of owning, buying electric vehicle. That's the first thing. But also we built the public charging station because to give some kind of a boost, some kind of confidence. So
I see, convenience now.
Convenience.
Exactly. And now I'm so relieved, in having a decision to buy electric vehicles because now it's been facilitated by you, by PLN. From home-wise and at the public area
Public
as well,
area,
right?
yes.
But I'm going to ask you about the competition because, non-electric vehicle now use energy or fuel from Pertamina, right? And from the public's point of view, it's like fighting for the same slice of pie. Then how are you going to collaborate, work together with Pertamina at a time when, sooner or later we no longer need energy supply from Pertamina. Instead, we will need energy supply from PLN for our electric vehicles if it's become ubiquitous.
Well, one thing is Pertamina supporting this. Pertamina is part of the team in which we collaborate. Even they initiated some kind of a public charging station in their pompa bensin. Also, they already having some kind of a swap battery, etc. So we're doing some kind of collaboration to accelerate this. And for instance, it's like we already built battery swap station for the two-wheelers, like VR, and then Gesit, and then Volta, and then Smooth, Fly, Tangkas. Like we've been collaborating with them. We also collaborate with Grab. They already have 6,000 of motorcycle two-wheelers to provide so ease of use, because for the motorcycle it's totally different story. Only 60 kilometers for one charge. So 60 kilometers, and the next time they have to charge, it's going to take 4 hours, so it's not workable. So we have to have battery swap station. They're running out, they go to a charging station, but this is a battery swap, takes only 1 minute, go, swap, and then they can go.
Where can we do the battery swap? At what kind of facilities?
So right now, we are building it. We are collaborating with every single manufacturer in such a way that the battery swap is going to be ubiquitous, all over the place. And that is the, condition in which the two-wheelers is going to be a common use on every single day. So
there will be no fighting over the same slice of pie, but there will be collaboration between these two SOEs.
And this is the thing, like if we're talking about 1 million of additional cars every single year, mostly internal combustion engine. 8 million of two-wheelers every single year, additional demand. We're talking a big chunk of a market in the combustion engine cars and also electric vehicle, electric two-wheelers. And the demand is so much. So even though we're trying to convert this additional demand from combustion engine to electric vehicle, how much is going to change? How much is going to transform? So the demand of oil, the best we could, is going to stay the same. Instead of rising from 1.5 to become 2.5 million barrels a day, if we can maintain the same or diminishing a bit, that is already very successful, because the additional demand is so much. If we're going to let this uncontrolled, I'm not going to be surprised by 2030, the demand of oil is not 1.5, it's going to be 3 million barrels a day, while the production is only 450,000 barrels a day. So the pie is too big. There's no competition. There's only one way: collaboration.
Okay, so I think now you're entering the last set of questions for you. I'd like to ask you about transformation within PLN as an organization. What have you transformed?
Well, 2.5 years ago, we start initiating a new transformation. to achieve efficiency, to achieve innovations. So we digitizing our power plants, we digitizing our transmission, our distribution, our retail, we digitizing our control center, we digitizing our financial system, we digitizing our auction, we digitizing our customer service.
What's the output of this digitalization process?
So for instance, like this, 2 years ago, we had an application, All PLN Mobile.
Yeah.
500,000 download, 450,000 uninstall. The score.
What happened?
The score in the Play Store.
Yeah.
2.5.
Okay.
And I look at the comments in the Play Store. It was embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
Embarrassing. So now
maybe the UI and UX.
yes. And then also the business process is so complex. Manual intervention in between.
Yeah.
They put a complaint, and our guy, the PLN guy, never show up in the house, and they are very disappointed, etc. It was a disarray. And then we're trying to streamline the business process. A complex business process, we streamline, becoming very simple. It's very quick. We digitize everything. And then also we build a super apps, new PLN Mobile. We consolidate the different parts within PLN in such a way. It's a very simple, quick, efficient process being monitored vertical and horizontal. The result is this. The rating of new PLN Mobile increased from 2.5 to become 4.9.
Wow.
The download from 500,000, uninstalled 450,000, now is roughly 30 million.
Wow.
And then one day, the additional installation download is 150,000 download every single day.
What kind of comments do you get from this improvement?
Thank you. Appreciated. I never expected the petugas PLN coming so fast, and then it's being responded. But this is the way we change our paradigm. We change the way we work like this. If any of these complaints is not fulfilled just in time, the report is coming to me directly.
Wow.
I'm going to call the general manager of that area, the manager of the kantor cabang, and then asking, why haven't you fulfilled the quality service of the customer?
Aren't you afraid to be called as micromanaging?
In the beginning, yes, it was kind of micromanaged, but it's not micromanaging. The way I see it is, I built a system that is fully consolidated, fully integrated, fully monitored. But these days, I never make a phone call.
Yeah.
They understand if they do not provide a premium service to the customers, then the phone call is going to come in. The intervention is going to take place. But I'm not doing it today because I know the system already works. And our financial system is much more efficient. Our auction system is much more efficient. The robust quality of our system is much more reliable.
Yeah.
And last year is we already booked the highest the best financial report in the history of PLN.
Wow.
But the most important thing is also this. The fluctuation of demand was the only factor in the system in the past. But with the entering additional renewable energy, then the fluctuation is not only in the demand side, but also on the supply side.
Right. Okay.
Yes. In that, digitizing our system, power plants, transmission, distribution, building a smart grid. And we built the state-of-the-art Jawa, Madura, Bali control system. We collaborating with power system transformation, coalitions.
Right.
So all the experts from all over the world team up to build the state-of-the-art, meaning we are ready to face the challenge. Not only that, we transform the challenge to become opportunity.
Yes.
And in the process, we also are transforming our organization. We build, core competency, technical skills.
And I can see that great service now is in your mind.
That fit, that relevant to the challenge of the future. That means the organization itself shift from static backward looking to become dynamics, forward looking, based on the technology and innovation.
Right.
And then PLN, in the past, our main job is to provide electricity.
Okay.
But in the future, our main job is to take care of the environment.
To take care of the
While
environment.
electricity is our byproduct. Thank you.
Pak Darmawan, thank you so much. It's been so fun talking with you, so inspiring. I've got so many insights and also new information from you. Good luck for you
Thank
and
you.
for PLN, Pak. Okay, so that was our interview with Pak Darmawan Prasodjo, the CEO of PLN. We've got many insights and information from PLN. Let's wish PLN luck in transitioning the energy in Indonesia. I'm Rodi Ashari. Thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time.